Welcome back to West Texas View.
I promised you that we were going to talk about a really important research project, and that's what we're going to do in this segment. Dr. Chuppy is going to introduce us to it and tell you a little bit more about where and why and how.
Okay, thank you so much again. I'm very excited about getting to share this with you and other people who might be watching. After learning all about the problems in West Texas and the need here, and as a research institute, we talked about, you know, my goal or my role as, you know, research, community outreach, education. My staff and I decided that it would be great to have a comprehensive prevention project for adolescent girls. So we started to develop some ideas, and what we decided we would do and how we would best utilize some of our resources. We had this beautiful new building. We had a lot of community support. We had a need. We decided to go ahead and designate a couple of rooms in the building as very adolescent friendly to girls. And so what we did is we came up with an idea that we would make this very technology centered, very deliver healthcare the way the teenager lives today. We have flat screen television flat screen monitors. I think they call them monitors now, not television anymore.
That's right.
We have an ultrasound in our room that is state of the art, but it's portable, and we have a flat monitor where we can put an ultrasound probe on the abdomen, and we can show the teenage girl, you know, the uterus, the ovaries. If there's if there's a diagnosis, she and her mom can watch while it's being done. But it's also exciting because the rooms are very beautiful. We worked with the designer to give it a feel that's young, that's comfortable. We have a consultation room.
That just draws a teenager in.
Well, and the thing is, it's very intimidating and sometimes frightening to see a gynecologist, quite frankly. We also have an approach that's very minimally invasive. This is sort of a catchphrase now in medicine. We don't need to poke and prod a lot if we don't need to poke and prod a lot. So if there's no reason to poke and prod, we don't. We talk or we show on a video. There's been several articles recently in the New York Times and other publications that show that we don't need to be doing a lot of invasive pelvic examinations. We don't get a lot of information, and we cause a lot of pain sometimes. Anxiety, pain. So that's one of the reasons we decided to use the abdominal ultrasound probe on the abdomen. It doesn't hurt at all, and you can learn something while it's happening.
And this isn't just a picture, this is me.
Yes, it can be, and it can be very educational at the same time. Many times, adolescent girls don't even need an examination because their problems can be dealt with by counseling or speaking. The new guidelines for pap smear screening recommend that nobody get a pap smear before the age of 21. So there's really no reason to do a speculum examination unless there's some very compelling reason. We don't have to do that anymore. We can do a lot of things with a urine sample that we used to have to do with a speculum exam. We can test for infections, for instance, with chlamydia or gonorrhea with a simple urine specimen. We don't need to do the painful, scary examination anymore. So that's one of the goals that we set is let's make this more friendly. It's, you know, nobody really wants to go,
and
but
not scary at all.
And also make it so we have a consultation room. There's no scary equipment. There is no paper in there. It's all technology.
No stirrups or
we use notebook computers, and we use the monitor for teaching. And there's a little refrigerator with some water, and there's very comfortable chairs for the mom or the dad and the patient to sit. And then we have an examination room next door where we have cloth gowns that are purple. Now, not everyone likes purple, but I like purple for girls. It's kind of nice between pink and blue. So we just try to make it very comfortable. The panels can be opened separately. For instance, if I'm doing a breast exam, only that part is open. And then if I need to do a pelvic exam, there's a flap that hangs down. So the patient's really covered up the whole time. So I hope they feel comfortable in that regard.
And the whole point is you can't help them if you can't see them.
That's
and so
right.
you must bring them
We're
in.
trying to attract and
And
not repel.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so this project, this new project that we're going to get into next Sunday, is really delves into bringing some young girls who are on birth control for whatever reason.
Well, it's actually for girls who need who need treatment for acne or pelvic pain or heavy periods or bad cramping, or for birth control, for pregnancy prevention. If you fit any of those categories and you've never been on the birth control pill before, we have a project that you can be enrolled in. It's a study so that we can help you navigate those first 3 months successfully. Now, if you're on birth control pills already, you can still come in as a patient. You can still get the experience, but we're enrolling patients right now
who are very new,
who haven't started that yet, so that we can again help them be successful. And we'll talk more about that, but the idea is once we get you in here, we're not just going to write a prescription and say hope it works out. We're going to help you learn how to manage your health care by this intervention we have going
So there's
on.
a lot of benefits to being a part of this trial project.
Yes.
Tell us some of the other benefits. Why would, if I were in the audience listening, why would I want my daughter, or why would I want my granddaughter to be a part of this project?
Well, again, girls have lots. There was a time when there really was nowhere to go at all for
no questions.
People suffered. People suffered. They missed school. They had anemia. You don't have to do that anymore. So one of the things I see a lot is mothers bringing their daughters in for missing school for painful periods. Another thing that happens is a patient has decided they want to have sex, and they've decided they need to do something to prevent pregnancy. We also have patients that come in for irregular periods, pre-diabetes, and they have acne. So I treat a lot of patients like that. So again, instead of writing a prescription and saying come back in 3 months, which is traditionally what's done, we know from a lot of research studies out there, nationally and across the world, that in the first 3 months, not only birth control pills, but almost anything that's prescribed to an adult or a teenager isn't taken correctly. Okay. So what we want to do, and when you have a birth control pill prescribed, not taking it has very serious consequences. So what we're trying to do is help the mother, help the daughter to have some support there for them.
To learn how and why to take it.
And also we're interacting with them because we have this new great technology. Let's put it to good use. Let's don't just be texting all the time for no reason. Let's do it so that we can help with the compliance of the medication.
We're going to have to end this program today, and we've just barely started all the things we need to tell you. So we'll be back next Sunday and give you all the details of this project and some other information you need to know. See you next Sunday.
Okay, now it's Lisa's turn.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.